Thank you guys so much for joining this session. My name is Ellie Shervin, and I'm the owner and founder of Camp. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Most importantly, I'm the mom to 2 children on the spectrum. And I'm just so honored to be here with all of you today. It's just so nice to be surrounded by my people, the caregivers, the self-advocates, and it's just so nice to see so many loving faces. I'm really excited to dive deep into self-care with you and how, as caregivers, self-care is essential and yet often neglected. With back to school in our rear view and the holidays on the horizon, we're exhausted, we're overstimulated, and quite frankly, we just need a break sometimes. So how can we prioritize these simple moments of self-care into our daily lives? But before we get started, I want to take a moment and say that if no one has said this to you today, you are working so hard to take care of the people that you love, and you are making a really big impact on their lives, and that really matters. And I see you. So let's talk about how self-care impacts not only our mental and physical health, but also reaches beyond that to impact our family as well as our community. So I'm going to share some interesting statistics. I'm a statistic person. I like facts and percentages. So mental health. Engaging in regular self-care practices is associated with a 30% reduction in symptoms of anxiety and depression. Okay, now on to our physical body. Regular self-care activities reduce chronic stress-related injuries, illnesses, including cardiovascular disease, by 43%. Now, on to our families and our communities. Caregivers who access respite care report a 32% reduction in stress and burnout, emphasizing the importance of external support systems. Raise your hand if you are a victim of not requesting respite enough. Me. And then our communities. Having a strong social support system is a form of self-care, reduces the risk of emotional burnout by 60%, and significantly improves resilience. So today we're going to focus on reframing our perspective, prioritization, and intention around self-care. I want to share some really easy, sensory-friendly self-care ideas that you can start doing today or when you get home. And finally, I want to highlight the importance of community and encourage you to find your people that will support you, lift you up, and help you be the very best caregiver that you can be. People who will provide you with validation and support. And my goal is that when you leave here today, you have the permission and intention to seek both self-care and community. But before we do that, I want to introduce myself a little bit deeper and why I love self-care and why it's so important to me. I was born and raised in Madison, Wisconsin. I know most of us are from Wisconsin, right? Okay, so you maybe already know this term, Midwest nice. Okay, people pleasing, conflict avoiding. Okay. On top of that, my mom was chronically anxious. Today, we would call her high masking autistic. And my dad was and is a workaholic. And so if you can imagine like the nature and the nurture of those things combined, I grew up to be a chronically anxious, people-pleasing workaholic. Yeah, thank you. Okay, and like honestly, this was a great combination for me. In college and early in my career, this was great. I thought this was a great positive trait. I was someone who was really motivated and willing to put in the hard work. But there came a time when these things just didn't work for me anymore. And it took my body literally screaming at me to know that I needed to make a big change. And that was after coming back from my second maternity leave. I started getting cysts on my skin, like very painful cysts. And I was losing like clumps of hair, like big bald spots on my head. In my head, I was balancing work and family. but my body was telling me otherwise. And that's when I decided that I needed to make some big changes if I was going to continue to be an amazing parent and caregiver to my children. And quite frankly, I know that I'm very much preaching to the choir here of a room full of caregivers and self-advocates. You already know how difficult this stuff is. I want to highlight, though, some of the biggest hurdles that we face. And the number one is burnout, emotional burnout. Because honestly, everyone in this room, you guys just have more stuff, more appointments, more considerations, more decisions to make, and they are high stakes. This is enough to put anyone into burnout. Another thing that's really common, especially in parents of neurodiverse children, is divorce. And a lot of the things that I'm going to say today are about autism because that is the lens that I see the world through. So if autism doesn't apply to you, that's okay. But for parents of children who have autism, they have a 24% chance of divorce, which is compared to only 14% of parents of typically developing children. But burnout and divorce, they don't need to be inevitable. So what are the key things that we need to avoid them? Today, we're going to talk about two types of self-care, micro and macro. And then we're going to talk about the importance of community because experts and evolution agree that emotional support systems are essential. So often we don't prioritize self-care because it feels selfish, right? Taking time away from yourself when you could be washing dishes or doing laundry or whatever. But if there is one singular message that I want to come across to you today, it is that self-care is not selfish. In fact, it makes you more emotionally available for the people that you care for. And it helps you avoid burnout so that you can continue to show up for the people that you love. Okay, so now I want you to take a moment and envision self-care in your head. What does that look like? Does it look like this? I think a lot of people, when we talk about self-care, we see like this beautiful beachside vacation in our heads. A drink in our hand with an umbrella and a book, long time away from our children or the people that we care for, our work. But my goal for you today is that we reframe how we see self-care and understand that there's a bunch of different types of self-care out there. We've just never given ourselves the intention or the permission to enjoy them. So, in the context of reframing self-care, I want you to envision two buckets. The first one is macro self-care. Those are those big moments of time away from your day-to-day responsibility. It's that vacation, it's the weekend trip, it is a full day away with no responsibilities. Larger moments of filling your cup. But today, I want to introduce the concept of micro self-care. Little itty-bitty activities that you can incorporate into your day-to-day that will have a cumulative buildup of those good feeling hormones in your brain. Those are dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, and there's one more that I can't think of right now. Did I say serotonin? Okay, there's one more, I can't think of it. And ultimately, when we do all of these things, they build up and they have that trickle-down effect into our family and our communities. Micro self-care, in my definition of it, takes less than 10 minutes and is relatively low cost. So everything that I'm going to show you today costs less than $10 and will have that cumulative buildup of those good feelings. And so often we don't see these little things as self-care because they're so tiny, right? Like taking a 10-minute walk or washing your face. But psychological science says that engaging in small self-care acts can reduce perceived stress levels by up to 50% and improve our overall mood. My big point is that we need to give ourselves permission to engage in these activities, to actually take the time to do them, and to set the intention. And I've set intention a couple times, but let me give you an example. Today, I'm going to take a 10-minute walk without distractions because I need some quiet time today and I need to move my body. And when I take care of myself, I'm taking care of the people around me. Like I mentioned, both of my kids are autistic with a PDA profile. And so I think about the world around me in terms of sensory and nervous system activation. When we go to a restaurant, is it loud? When we go to the movies, is it too flashing? How will my children perceive this situation? So when I start thinking about self-care, that's where my brain goes. Like, how can we activate these senses to take care of our bodies? Or how can we deactivate these senses to take care of our bodies? So today we're going to be biohacking our 5 senses one by one to create these moments of micro self-care. We're going to start with touch because your skin is your largest organ. It is 16% of your total body mass. And I don't think we take care of our skin that much unless we have like an injury, right? So I have a 5-minute micro self-care activity that you can do in the shower in the morning or whenever you shower. And that is exfoliation. Exfoliation stimulates your nerve endings, promoting relaxation, and serves as a fast and simple method to alleviate stress. So what I have here is a brush. You can keep these in your shower. This one is $7 at TJ Maxx, but I'm sure you've seen these. You might even have one in your closet already. So take 2 minutes in the shower, scrub your arms, scrub your legs, scrub your back. And then when you get out of the shower, find just a really simple lotion and put the lotion on your skin. And you will be amazed how much that makes you feel just a little bit more put together for the day. You know, when you dress up for the day and you're like, yeah, I'm feeling good, I look good. That's what this feels like for your skin. Another thing that I love and I want to share with you today is because I bet most of you have one of these at home. This is a heating pad. I'm someone, I love to feel warm, right? Who doesn't? And I notice when I'm stressed out at work, I just want to feel warm. And so I keep a heating pad on the back of my chair at work. And when I need like a little comfort, turn it up, crank it up. Next up is smell, our sense of smell. And smell is so interesting because it is the most effective sense for triggering vivid and emotional memories. This is called the Proustian memory effect. And it has an accuracy of recall of 65%, which for comparison's sake, visual recall is 50% and auditory recall is 40%. So let's biohack this to our advantage. What I'm proposing is that you find a scent that triggers some sort of very vivid, lovely memory for you, and you incorporate that scent into your day-to-day. So for me, I love Sundara. Sundara is just down the road. It's a fancy spa that I only allow myself to go to every once in a blue moon. But all of their services incorporate a signature scent, and my memory has connected this scent with my time at Sundara. And so for $7, I found this scent in their little gift shop. And so when I need a little spa moment at home, I just do a little spritz. You may also have seen these before, these oil diffusers. These are another cost-effective way to fill up a room with a really lovely scent. Again, something you can find on Amazon for less than $10. So I'd love to take a quick pause because that's what we're here to do, right? To pause and reflect and think and gain more information. Think back to a scent that evokes a positive emotional memory for you. You might want to think back to your childhood. Is it lilacs that your grandmother grew or pine needles from a favorite vacation? Take a moment, write it down. I'd love to hear when you guys have had a moment. I'd love to hear what those smells are. Okay, does anyone want to be brave and share their favorite smell? Yes. Fresh cut grass. That's a beautiful one. Anyone else? Yeah.
It's my son on, but willow leaves. We used to have this huge willow tree, and made our garden look like it went on forever, but it's willow leaves.
Willow leaves. Beautiful. Beautiful. Maybe apple pie, grandma's apple pie or mom's sugar cookies. Anyone else want to share a smell? Yeah. Yeah, fireplace, burning wood, nights camping. I love that. Okay, thank you guys so much for sharing that. Our next sense is sight. Think about it. From the moment that you wake up in the morning till the moment that you go to bed, your eyes are moving all day long. Little micro movements. Your eyes are working so hard. And again, I think it's an organ that we take for granted a little bit. We don't proactively care for our eyeballs unless something's wrong with them. So, deep pressure anywhere on our bodies stimulates our parasympathetic nervous system. This system is called our rest and digest system. And so if you can imagine, rest and digest is the opposite of fight and flight. So when we apply deep pressure to our eyeballs specifically, we stimulate our oculocardiac reflex, which slows our heart rate and promotes a feeling of calm. It only takes 3 minutes to stimulate this reflex. I think we all have 3 minutes to sit on the couch, right? So what I have here today is a weighted eye mask. You can find these on Amazon for less than $10. What I want you to do is I want you to go home. I want you to lay on the couch, put it over your eyes, and just sit in the quiet for 3 minutes and enjoy that deep pressure to your eyes. This is how I do this one. My daughter is someone that needs me to lay next to her as she falls asleep, and it makes me so angry. I get so anxious, but I had to like disconnect from that, right? And totally turn this on its head. And now I use putting her to sleep as a time to take care of myself and to put on that eye mask and to have a little bit of that oculocardiac reflex. Okay, here's another self-care for our sense of sight bonus round. And I included this one because I bet you have these things at home already. We have this part of our brain called the orbital frontal cortex, and it lights up anytime we see something that is beautiful. This can be art, it can be faces, it can be even music. But anytime we experience something beautiful, we are given these reward pleasure from our brain. So I want to encourage you to go to your bookstore, go to your own bookshelves, run to Goodwill, find a coffee table book. What are coffee table books for? Looking at, I guess. But actually take some time to look at beautiful things. Give your brain some of that uh, orbital frontex cortex lighting up. Next is our sense of hearing. And this is a big one at my house because my kids, everyone in my house is very sensitive to noise. And the thing that I love the most is Loops earbuds. Have you guys seen these before? They're cool. They're like earplugs, but they still let noise in. So they have a bunch of different colors and sizes and and what's so great about them is she could put them in right now, and number one, you probably wouldn't notice. She could still hear you, but what it's doing is it's just blocking some of the outside noise down. So at a restaurant, my husband wears these at like gym events, like like basketball events, just to bring some of the noise down, but you can still have conversations with other people.
Degrees of
Mhm.
noise canceling. So you can get like more noise canceling or less noise canceling.
Yes, exactly. So different strengths of noise canceling. Okay, so then next one for this bonus round for hearing. Again, the orbital frontal cortex, where we trigger reward by seeing beautiful things, hearing beautiful things. These are some things that I love. I love piano music. It's very soothing. You can plug into YouTube just about any artist you want, piano covers. So like let's say I do Taylor Swift piano covers. You can have just really relaxing music that is stuff you know, which is super cool. The other thing that I didn't know existed, and maybe you guys are already members of Spotify, Spotify gives you 15 hours of audiobooks every month. Are you guys taking advantage of that? You should be. And so just enjoy some self-care on things that you already have and already use. taste. All right, so this is my moment to be very vulnerable with you and tell you that my children eat 3 to 4 popsicles a day. And why do they do that? Cold temperature activates receptors in your mouth that stimulate a dopamine release, promoting a sense of pleasure and relaxation. So I want to give you permission today to go to the main lobby today, to the ice cream shop, and get a double scoop of whatever ice cream you want and just chill out and relax. Because there's science behind why we like ice cream, why we like cold things. And then when you get home, I dare you, go look at the frozen food section at Target or your grocery store. There's some cool stuff there these days. My mochi, that's the one that I want to recommend to you. It is the strangest little thing, but it's delicious. It's a little ball of ice cream, and then it's covered with a rice dough, and it is the strangest, most delicious texture you've ever had. So again, you have my permission today to go to the ice cream shop in the lobby. And also when you get home, go to the frozen food section, pick something out for yourself, hide it deep, deep, deep in the back of your fridge so no one knows that it exists except for you. Okay, so we've covered all 5 senses. Again, let's take a pause. Which of these is resonating with you today? Which of these things do you think you could go home and actually do? Take a moment, write it down. Does anyone want to share? Yes. The eyes one, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Cool. Anyone else? Yes.
Spotify,
Yeah.
I'm not actually a caregiver, I'm supporting caregivers, so
Yeah.
I'd suggest. She likes to listen to audiobooks while she's doing other things, so it's sort of a self-care. I'm gonna say, hey, mom, look at this.
Yeah, let's do it. And there's great books on there. Like really, anytime you find like a new book, they're on there really quickly. So yes. Anyone else? Okay, cool. Now that Pink Pony Club is over, we can continue. Okay, so now we're going to talk about macro self-care. Those are those larger moments of filling your cup, larger investments of time and money, filling your cup all at once with an emphasis today on community. And I want to say that you guys are already ahead of the game. The fact that you're here means that you are already committed and invested in this macro self-care. I'm going to share some evolutionary reasons why we as humans need social connection and why that is so important for caregivers specifically. And we're going to talk about a specialized community, surrounding yourself with people who deeply understand what you're going through. And for me, this is an autism-focused community. For you, it's probably something else. Okay, evolution, cave people, right? Why this focus on building a specialized community? If you can believe it or not, it is an evolutionary component, our need for community and social connection. Because when we were cave people, community and social connection was vital to our survival. Our ancestors who belonged to communities, they lived longer, they had healthier children, and they were able to pass down their genes. Cool. Those who were isolated were more likely to starve, be killed, or fail to reproduce. And so we have this deep evolutionary imprint to belong. And that's why sometimes rejection physically hurts our body. Modern loneliness is a survival threat because our ancient wiring is telling us something's wrong. You're not going to survive. Chronic loneliness has impacts on our physical health, which are as serious as smoking. So this is my little cave family, and I'm going to talk about my experience with autism when my son was diagnosed and what that felt like. I knew almost nothing about autism, and I didn't have anyone in my social circle who did. I felt like I had this huge knowledge gap, and Dr. Google was scary. Dr. Facebook, yeah. There was so much information out there, it was overwhelming, and I didn't even know where to start. The next was uncertainty of what our lives and our family's future looked like. All I wanted was another mom that I could sit down with and have a cup of coffee with and just talk through some things. Tell me what their journey had been like. And finally, isolation, that caveman instinct, right? I didn't know anyone else who had dealt with this, and I was feeling alone and like no one understood what we were going through. And these are just some of the hurdles that caregivers face. There's many more: guilt, fear, anger. But I want to show you today how when we surround ourselves with specialized community, people who deeply know what we're going through, we're able to face those hurdles head on. So after I built my specialized autism community, I had access to resources, tips, and new ideas to try. I was able to learn from others who had gone before me, who had navigated these things already. And finally, I was experiencing genuine connection in a judgment-free, safe space. So part of my story is what I created from all of those hurdles. And that is a weekend caregivers retreat. We bring together caregivers of children on the autism spectrum to share and discuss struggles, victories, and to just straight up relax and some self-care. So we have guided autism-focused discussions and free time to relax. We host at the Blue Harbor in Sheboygan, which is right on Lake Michigan. And my absolute favorite, cannot miss it, every time I'm there, is watching the sunrise over the lake. It's beautiful. Where else can you see that? For many parents, this is the first time that they've been able to get away and truly disconnect. Many people say it's the first night of uninterrupted sleep that they've had. It's just a really beautiful event that we've been hosting for 4 years. We've hosted 9 events over those 4 years. We've impacted 400 people's lives. And of all of our events, this is one of my favorite quotes from an attendee, because I think it speaks to how important that validation and support is to caregivers when they have that community of people who understand. And so I want to applaud you for already taking steps to build that community and to surround yourself with people who understand what's going on in your life. Okay, so we are about halfway through our session, and now we get to do the more interactive stuff. So in front of you on your table is a Mad Lib, a caregiver's Mad Lib. Take a couple minutes. I'd love for you to fill this out. Take some time.
It's madness, I supposed to be funny, yeah.
No, this is you. This is your experience. This is you being vulnerable. This is your safe space. Okay, so next, what I'd love for us to do is to join and have some discussion within our table groups. If you are at a big table and want to move to a smaller table, you are more than welcome to. But let's talk through a few things. What are your tells that your tank is low? What is one of those things that you notice when it's time to invest in some self-care? Discuss kind of some of the things that you think that you can take home with you today. What things stood out to you? What do you currently do for self-care? And what community groups exist in your area, or what is that specialized community that you hope to build for yourself? So we'll take some time. Please remember that this is a safe space. Speak to your experience and be respectful of other people's experiences. Thank you guys for such lovely discussions. I'm so glad you were able to connect with other caregivers in your group.
Thank
So you received a survey. If you could take a quick moment to fill that out, that is hugely helpful to me. Did this table get some? Oh, okay. Thank you guys so much for joining this conversation. I'm happy to take questions if you have questions. I'm happy to hear comments, but I wish you a really good rest of your conference and thank you so much for spending your time with me. Oh, yes. And then apparently there's a weighted eye mask that's in the exhibition hall. So if you would like a free eye mask, go track it down at Pelco. This is what it looks like. It's free. You can put this one in the fridge or you can warm it up in the microwave and get your 3-minute parasympathetic reflex. Thank you guys so much for your time today.